Freshman year of college, I had a good buddy, Steven Sachs, who introduced me to a couple, specifically Chance the Rapper and Tyler the Creator, who I think are generally very good intro to rap people. And, like, it's good to like start someone who doesn't like rap with Chance the Rapper.
Right.
And I was in that category, so I just really liked the beats, and it hooked me. I'd say probably the beginning of freshman year.
How long have you been listening to country music?
I'd say when I was little, probably like 5.
Okay, 5 years old. So what do you like about country music?
I like just that it's like a different like atmosphere when you listen to country. Kind of like if you're having a bad day one day, maybe listen to country or something like that.
So what attracts you to hip hop? What do you like about hip hop?
I like the way it makes me move, like the vibes. It's like, it's hard to explain, but like when I listen to it, I relate to it and I feel good when I listen to it.
Specifically, I think I like it more because it's really relatable and it's easier to understand. I know, like, I hate rap music because 90% of the time I can't understand it. And other than that, I just enjoy listening to it driving down the road.
I say my favorite hip hop artist is probably Kendrick Lamar. Not to be cliche, but like he's just amazing at doing everything. Like he'll do a song with Maroon 5 and it'd be crazy dope, and then he'll do a song with Fredo Santana and it'd be crazy dope too. So, and then his own music when he fuses jazz and hip hop together is just like genius. So,
Couple of artists like Luke Bryan, George Strait sometimes, Riley Gilbert. Songs, I mean, probably mostly are Luke Bryan songs. Like,
What are you looking for in a country song?
I would say that looking for a country song, just like different like atmospheres of like different beats or like the lyrics or something like that. Nothing like this country twang or something like that.
Right.
That might not be. I actually don't listen to a lot of that, but it's more like integrated in. It's hard to tell. Integrated into a certain extent of like their life story kind of songs, and then like maybe like where there's like the little pop-ish kind of country ones, like Florida Georgia Line.
Yeah, like I found artists that I like, and then found the instrumentalists that played for them, and then like looked into those people and saw who else they played for. I was like, oh wow, there's this whole underground like network of really like jazzy, like hardcore musicians that like to play specifically for hip hop tracks. Because I think it's one of the best ways to get jazz into the popular medium. It really values musical complexity and like really like integrity. Like making sure that a lot of the things that are recorded by some of the really good artists, rap artists right now, like Kendrick Lamar comes to mind. 80%, maybe not. A lot of his tracks are live recordings. Like they're not made. They're like it's literally people in a studio playing like a take, and then they pick their favorite take, and then he raps over that. Like it's a real authentic way to make music.
So first, it's a newer artist. His name's Seth Ennis. He just came out with a song, "Woke Up in Nashville," and it's just like really relatable because it's him like following his dreams and his passion and like ending up where he wanted to. And then the other one's Kenny Chesney, and I'm a big fan of him. He was like one of the first big country songs I got into. Or like the newer artists more have like a pop feel to them, which at times I don't like as much as the older ones. That's why I tend to listen to some of the older artists.
I hate the fact that older hip hop artists are bagging on the new guys, just because, I mean, that same type of thing happened to them, and I know they didn't like it, but now they're doing it to like our generation. Even though this generation of hip hop is different, it's you can't it's like you can't understand it now, but it's how we express ourselves. So I mean, if music is about expression, then who are you to judge that? You know what I'm saying? Right. People probably look at the trap aspect of hip hop. I feel like that's like the epitome of hip hop right now for some reason. Everybody looking into hip hop looks only at trap, so they immediately think anybody listening to trap, or hip hop where it's like baggy pants, or just like some super tight skinny jeans but always sagging.
Right.
Quote unquote look like thugs, that type of thing. Drinks in the studio, smokes in the studio, mumbles, that type of stuff.
Right. As a producer, how do you deal with that?
I don't do any of that.
Right.
Like I may sag on occasion just because I forget myself. But besides that, like I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any of that. Like honestly, I feel like I might be an example to people looking into the industry.
I would say if you like live in the South, you would have like people think that you gotta listen to country, or like out west, everybody always listen to country. They don't like listen to anything else. But yeah, I'd say that's probably number one. When I like think about listening to country music, I think that it's always gonna be like a life story background of like somebody's dad growing up or something like that. And say there's just always like a story behind there, and I mean I think it's repetitive sometimes, but also then you find the country songs that don't have anything that has to do with like a life story background, but usually that's what I expect to happen.
Like some common current like popular rap tropes.
Right,
like, things
yeah.
There's a lot of like there's like 4 snare drums that get recycled into every, you know, like
Yeah.
when you hear the, like there's not a lot of diversity within the rhythm section of things, and then there's also not a lot of in really popular rap, there's not too many layers of things going on. It's kind of like
Right.
and then like
Yeah, that's
it's not like there's no it's more like somebody kind of like built this thing then created it. Nobody's like trying to express themselves through pop rap music, you know. They're trying to make money through pop rap music.
Right.
But that's not the case for all rap, which is what it took me a long time to realize.
Yeah.
Hickish would be one that like mainly characterizes it.
I find a lot of my friends here who enjoy singer, or who would define themselves as singer-songwriters, tend to like country music because the instrumentation, if you have a guitar, you can perform country music.
Right.
That's not the case for hip hop. You need quite a setup or quite an innovative set to get away with like you performing hip hop. You know, like you can't really imagine, you know, it's impossible to picture someone going up on stage with an acoustic guitar and performing a rap set. You know, just because like, so it's. I find that people who like melodies and listen to songs for the lyrics and the top line, you know, melody, tend to like country because they're really hooky.
Right.
And that doesn't necessarily seem to be the case.
Country.
When I first think country, I think somebody wearing a cowboy hat, maybe some boots. You got a twang in their voice with the accent. Like love songs,
Right.
guitar, horseback riding, that type of stuff.
I would say like if you might like live in certain areas or something like that maybe, or if you like think that sometimes gangster people that always listen to rap or whatnot. I mean, for myself, obviously not, but I would say that's about it.
It's a lot of like pandering to a specific audience of like, I love my country and my girl and my beer and my, you know, like
right.
There's you can write a country song in like 45 minutes if you listen to other country songs, you know, like it's so I think the repetitiveness, which is another issue of rap, it's like it talks about the same thing every time, and when you like, what's the point of, you know,
right.
Eventually that makes it, when you have a whole album of like, I miss this girl, it's like,
Yeah.
you know.
I listen to both because I like different days. I feel like, you know, why not listen to rap walking to class, or like listen to country. Depends on the day that I have or whatnot. But I think that people should actually start listening to both, because you might find like maybe one song you do like and one song you do like on the other side of like country, and it's just different. Like you can enjoy. I think that everybody should enjoy both because of that.
I don't know too many people that are like my two favorite genres are country and hip hop.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that I do think that there is quite a number of differences. I think that the similar turnoff, which is sort of answering that question, the thing that both genres have going against them that people like to knock them for is that there's 6 different people's ideas coming out into, and they're like all of those are attributed to the person singing it. It doesn't come across as like a true message from the artist, you know, because the artist did not write the lyrics or the music or got the instrumentalists together, you know, like they were handed a sheet and were like, sing this.
Right.
And the same with rappers too. They were like handed it, here's your hook, rap, you know, here's verse 1. And I think that people that can look past that in country tend to notice it in hip hop, and people that notice it in hip hop or look past it in hip hop tend to notice it in country.
What I'd say is like, the more you listen to it, obviously the more you're gonna like it. So even if you start with something more like country, there's a lot of country artists now that kind of have like hip hop twist to them, and so maybe if you start listening to something like that, like you can get a little bit of a feel for it, and then from there you can work your way back to some of the older stuff and even some of the more country, like newer stuff.
So just like finding music that has common themes and something that you listen to already.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And finding something that you like enjoy and you can kind of relate to.
Yeah.